record this. All right, this is recording. Let me get all my ducks in a row. How are you guys doing this week so far?
Doing good. Doing good.
Hope that all of you are well. So welcome to 1 Million Cups, everyone. Let me ask that you all go on mute. And let's get this started. So welcome to 1 Million Cups. We have an awesome, outstanding, delightful, fun, and informational meeting for you all today. We have two great speakers, and we're going to start by going into what 1 Million Cups is all about. And I am going to allow you to, the speakers to share their screens soon after I go through a few things. So let us talk about what 1 Million Cups is, just before we get started for those who are not familiar. So 1 Million Cups, we are caffeinating entrepreneurs nationwide every Wednesday, okay? So the Kauffman Foundation works with communities in entrepreneurships and education to increase opportunities and that allow all people to learn, to take risks, and to own their own success. And our mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barriers of access to education, resources, and connections for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. So we work towards this mission through creating a consistent educational experience for each 1 Million Cup presenter nationwide, while also highlighting the uniqueness and value proposition in each local startup community. And here are some of our locations. And just so you know, some of these locations have gone virtual. I always tell people there's a 1 Million Cups local to you. So definitely look it up in your area. So here are our key pillars, presentations, not pitches. So we're here to present, right? We're here to present who you are to the community. We are not seeking investors. Just in case any of you watching are thinking about applying at 1millioncups.com/FW. This is not a place to pitch for investors. This is a place you can practice your pitch, but it's more about introducing you to local business owners and entrepreneurs like yourself so that you can connect and get connected with resources and possible associates and professional relationships. Authentic connections, not networking. So we're about building relationships, right? An ongoing relationship and not just networking. Run for the community, by the community. Radically and intentionally inclusive, just so you know. So this is how we do the program. It's a weekly held program every Wednesday at 9 a.m. For us is Central Standard Time. We have two presenters. Each gets 6 minutes to present and 20 minutes of Q&A. Sometimes that format changes every other Wednesday, depending on availability of speakers. Sometimes we might have a speaker take up the whole hour and give us a teaching on something around entrepreneurship. So after the business presents, we have the Q&A. That's your chance to connect with them, ask all your questions, but we want to know what we can do to help that business. And so we're looking for businesses that are 5 years old and younger that are designed to learn. And so this is what this is all about. It's free, it's open to the public, and usually we give free coffee, but you got to bring your own coffee because this is a pandemic and we're doing everything virtual. So if you want to present, all you have to do is go to 1millioncups.com/present or go to 1millioncups.com/FW for hours. And then here's our local app, our mobile app, so you can check in locally. And the great thing about this app is that whenever someone presents, you have their information in there. And even if you never got a chance to talk to them during the meeting, their information is there and you can go and connect with them later. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our organizers. I am LeBeau of LeBeau Labs marketing agency. I'm also one of the sponsors. And then we have Angela Maynard. Angela, come on and mute and tell them who you are.
Good morning. I'm Angela Burns. My maiden name is Manor. I haven't changed my email. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And my company is PD Media Group, and we are a concierge marketing agency for the people. Thank you, LeBeau. Thank you, everyone. And so glad to be a part of this and love to hear about the entrepreneurs and their dreams and see how we can help them.
Yes, absolutely. You have two marketers on this call. So if you have any marketing questions, we definitely want to hear from you during. So without further ado, we're going to go to our first speaker. I am going to first let a few people in. Okay. So we're going to go to Alejandro Jimenez first. Still letting people in. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to make you a host, Alejandro, because for some reason, my thing doesn't let me allow people to share their screen unless they're a host. So Alejandro, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and get your presentation started.
Hello, good morning. Do you see my screen? Do you hear me okay?
Yes, we do.
All right. Okay, so hello, my name is Alejandro Jimenez. I am the CEO of Everest Master. And what we do in Everest Master is to develop engaging virtual experiences. Our goals as a company is overcoming life challenges. The problem is the following. This is what we are trying to solve. Back in 2019, I was studying online and I didn't have the experience I was having. And from there came the inspiration to create Everest Master. After a long research, I realized I wasn't alone. Many users, many people have the following problems. When you are in a virtual solution, it is hard to expand your network, your social needs are not being fulfilled, and in third place, there is a lack of environment where you feel you could belong. Part of the problem as well is that we went from face-to-face events to barely engage on these online solutions. And I think that is something we have to fix. The following solution it was came to my mind, developing an amazing virtual world where everyone can meet, network, and belong to a community. This place will allow you to have customized environments. It is going to be engaging, and there is going to be live venues as well. How it works? Well, maybe you are familiar with the Sims, with the multiple worlds of Second Life, you will get an idea of what Everest Master is. It is a download program. It means a program you have to download and install on your computer. And in the future, we are going to incorporate VR with Oculus headsets. Sustainability is part of Everest Master in every way. Because when you go in person to an event, let's say an event in Las Vegas, that event alone can generate over 1 million kilograms of CO2 emissions. Every year, people take many trips just to go to events, and just you can imagine how many hours are wasted just by traveling and planning those events. In the other side, with Everest Master, the CO2 emissions are going to be minimum. The trip is going to be short, just to your office or to your desk. And in third place, you're going to have plenty of hours to dedicate to your business. When it comes to the market, we have conducted a market validation, analyzing a couple of companies that are similar to us in certain ways. We have ScienceSpace and Virbela. They have thousands of users, and some of the featured clients are Pearson, Virgin, Stanford University, Berkeley, etc. The market size is what makes Everest Master, is what will help Everest Master reach success. And in particular, the virtual events market is worth at this moment $78 billion. But we are expecting that by the year 2030, this market is going to grow in value and is going to worth $774 billion. And that means that if we are able to acquire around 1% share of the available market, this company can be valued in $7 billion. This is a demo of our product that I would like to show you so you can better understand what it is. It's a very visual product. First, you create your avatar, you give it a name, select your sex, your appearance, and you are done. You will take a look at your avatar. I hope you like it. And then you can explore the whole environment, go from here to there and get familiar with it. It's a social experience because you can speak with other people with your microphone and share your webcam. You can have this customized booth for the trade shows where you meet the vendors and make those important connections with them. You can also have private conversations. You can take a seat and have this private conversation with any person that you met there. You also have the auditorium when a speaker can come and give you a live presentation. I mean, to all the audience. You also have the web browser to surf in the internet from inside the platform. You can also have apps like this whiteboard to share anything you would like to. And there is much to it, but this is just a short demo. All right. When it comes to our business model, we first provide a public space that is always free. Then our services are venue design, live venue, and virtual events. The cost will vary depending on the total amount of users that will assist to the event. When it comes to our marketing strategy, I want to let you know that we focus on a B2B business. We want to sell to companies. So I think the best way to promote our platform is with the same virtual events. The assistants are going to become aware of it and recommend our platform to other companies. In second place, partnerships are really important for us because establishing these partnerships can help us unlock and get direct access to certain customers. And in third place, right now we are conducting direct marketing, just in person, email, phone. And in the future, we will invest in digital marketing. When it comes to competition, Everest Master is the company best positioned for success in the area of virtual events because we are user-oriented and we provide a high engagement for everybody. Our competitors are doing the opposite, to be honest. When it comes to competitive advantage, we're going to be the first virtual world for online events. It's easy to use, user-driven, optimized for communication, and the experience is really engaging. But that's not all. There is a world of endless possibilities of what can be done with Everest Master because of the multiple use cases this platform can have.
1 minute.
Our team is made of 4 members. You already know myself, Alejandro Jimenez. I also co-founded a company back in 2017 called OU Webs. And the co-founder happens to be Nachira Cuba, who is also my wife and the COO of Everest Master. We have Shime, our Unity developer, and Goran, our 3D artist. How can you help Everest Master? Our goal is to have 10 clients by the end of 2021. You can help us by following us on LinkedIn and connect with us later to hear your feedback directly and talk about any ideas you may have. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Here is my contact information in case you would like to get in touch.
All right, everyone give Alejandro a hand. Woo! Everest Master. I think you guys have a great product on your hands.
Agreed.
Yes. So that brings me to the question, what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Yeah, I think the best way to help us is help us get notoriety on LinkedIn by following us on. I will going to share the link, and also I think 1 Million Cups itself, all the feedback and the Q&A questions really help us to polish the presentation and polish our ideas and planning.
Awesome. Great. So if you have questions for Alejandro, I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm putting 20 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and type in those questions in the chat box. Angela, can you check? Do you see any questions yet?
Not yet. I'm looking at the chat right now.
Okay, you guys go ahead and start putting in those questions. I do have a question to start off with. 1 second. They're saying on the other end, our screen is black. I don't know why. It's possible because I have my face up here. Let me see. I bet you if I put my little icon up here. Maybe they can see my screen over there on Facebook. But Alejandro, I have a question for you. So I'm pretty sure that your team has heard of Facebook venues or Oculus venues, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So do you see Oculus venues by Facebook as a competitor?
Yeah, of
And
course.
so, if so, how do you plan on competing against them with their unlimited budget,
Yeah, well,
unlimited
yeah,
resources?
I think the market is huge, and even though they provide same solution, getting away 1% from the client, they will not even notice it at all. And at the same time, what makes us different in every way is our vision, because all the solutions that are being created right now, they provide private environments where you go to this private environment and then it's a bunch of blocks. And our purpose is not having blocks. We won't have frontiers. We will have one single virtual world when you can go from environment to environment and make connections with other companies, other institutions that are already inside the platform. And that way it can generating kind of a network effect. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a linking, but in a world somehow.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing any beta testing right now? Are you allowing users to come in and test it?
Yeah, every time we part of our service, our business model is to provide the platform for free to small groups. So anyone can go at this moment and install the program get the program from our website, install it, play around with it. And we will always keep that open. We want people to get to know our latest features by take, um, by going to this space that we call the public space.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about your team's ability to maintain this, you know, how long can you guys keep this going on your own? And what are your plans for um, getting funding?
Yeah, so at this point, we have already finished developing the demo and certain of the most basic features, and what we are waiting now is to get a better understanding of where we have to go now in terms of specialization and which market. We are targeting the trade shows. So once we get a client with the trade shows, we will continue improving our platform, but we certainly want to stop investing on the development for now until we get a better idea of which features would be most useful. Otherwise, we will be just wasting our time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Who
We
has
have a
questions?
question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a question from Michelle LeBeau. Alejandro, great presentation. Thank you so much. So Michelle's question is, do you plan to target nonprofits as clients? And that's a really good point.
Yeah, of course. We are gradually going to target everything because we have multiple use cases. But nonprofits are important for us. We are just evaluating how if it is going to be profitable. We of course want to work with nonprofit, but since they are nonprofit, uh,
Mhm.
we need a certain amount of money to run the events as well. So of course we are after the nonprofits, and if you know any particular nonprofit that is interested to talk about this opportunity, we can go ahead.
Mhm. And maybe you can have a different package for nonprofits. And I was looking at your pricing, and I think you said the venue design was 1,500 per month. And then there was another option. I can't remember what it was. That was a little bit higher.
The venue design is a one-time fee, and it starts in uh, $1,500, and it's just to design this venue that they're going to keep live if they want to keep it live in the future, because they may use this venue for events, or they may use this venue for a live space where the user will be coming in a regular basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have the live venue, which is the monthly payment as a membership, where you keep that place running all the time.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
And I think one of the audiences you could reach out to would be like conference organizers.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and meeting planners. There's a Meeting Planners International Association, which is actually located in Dallas. I want to say Irving, I could be wrong, but there are, associations of meeting planners, and this could be something that you could, you know, work out with them to maybe test your platform and be of some interest to them, and just kind of offer your services and the product you have. I think it's a good product. Certainly opportunity considering the pandemic we're in right now. And not only that, companies are looking for different ways to reach audiences and creating their own experience. And so I think that could be that customization of creating their own experience could be a good branding opportunity for a lot of these companies. And especially when you're working with meeting professionals who are trying to, kind of revamp how they're putting meetings together, and which is now basically virtually.
Mhm.
So that could be a good opportunity too.
Yeah, that's correct. I agree with you.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest challenges for us is to where to focus, no? Decide where our focus should go because there are so many options, and we are trying now to go around the trade shows and see, as you say, many planners could be a good way as well to get inside the industry.
Got it. Got it. And then I had one other question. So is there a maximum number of, I guess, venue designs that you are, businesses that you can have within the platform?
Well, technically speaking, they shouldn't be because every what we I am not a network expert, but I am video game player. So from the video games, I learned that you can have multiple servers, and if you ever play World of Warcraft, for example, you have many worlds, many user servers. So there are ways to have an infinite number, per,
Okay.
yeah, of places, users, etc.
Okay, wonderful. And then Michelle has another point regarding the nonprofits. So she would suggest membership associations who hold annual conferences. Good point. Good point. So you could do like, I'm going to make, I guess, to piggyback on what Michelle is saying, um, National Black MBA associations, National Hispanic associations, those type of associations who have annual conferences. And there are tons of them.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a great idea. I think I have heard before. I
Mhm.
Me the challenge is and maybe you have some suggestion about this. How do I connect with decision makers on those members association? Because I can't get to contact them through the website, and then maybe try to get them on LinkedIn. But from there, I don't know, maybe the social media, but then on, I don't know what else to do in order to get their attention.
No. Oh, were you going to
What do you
answer that?
think? No,
Go
what do
ahead.
you think, LeBeau? Yeah.
Whenever you reach out to important people like that, if you come to them with something, anything that looks scripted is automatically going to be deleted, ignored. Okay. So one of the things that I would do is take the time to reach out to those specific people and mention them specifically in a video, right?
Mm.
Have on your best tie, be shaved, look your very best, and ask them a very specific, pointed question that can spark the conversation. Because these people get inbox constantly. People are always asking for something from them. And
Mhm.
if you could reach out to them in a more natural way and not a salesy type of way, that will grab their attention. You know, you can even comment, right? You can make a comment on something that they post, but I would go a different route than just sending out a scripted message. You can reach out to personal assistants. You want to build a rapport with whoever their personal assistant is or whoever. you know, because the assistant has their ear, right? The
Right.
assistant or the administrator or something like that. But I also would say I wouldn't be afraid to directly compete with Facebook. I
Mm-hmm.
would approach when Facebook wants to promote something like this. Do you know what they do? They go to the professionals. They go to huge agencies, right? Huge marketing, advertising, promotional agencies, event agencies, right? And when they go to them, the agencies take care of everything, right? Facebook doesn't have a department for this. They outsource it. Coke doesn't have a department for this. They outsource it. They go to agencies for this. So what you want to do is start approaching those agencies that those big competitors go, that those big clients go to and say, hey, I have a virtual platform. I know that you deal with these clients. I know that they're looking for alternative ways to create an experience with their brand. You know, there's still money there. Just because the pandemic has happened doesn't mean that that budget is still sitting there. They have an annual budget for this, for experiential marketing. And when you talk
Mm-hmm.
about events and venues, that's what you're talking about, is experiential marketing of their brand. And so I would go to the agency, start building a relationship, create, you know, let them have a demo experience and start working those relationships with those agencies. And then I would also go and look into competitive VR um, companies, right? Who's Oculus's biggest competitor? PlayStation, and many of the others who have VR headsets as well.
Mm-hmm.
This could also be done in VR, right? So I would be approaching all of the major VR headset gaming console companies and introducing this, because they want something to compete with Oculus as well, Oculus venues. They don't have anything on PlayStation that I know of that you can go into their VR headset and attend an event virtually. So Facebook is trying to corner that market, and their vision is huge, very huge. And you have to have a big vision as well. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
sell myself short. I would just go for it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. That is awesome, LeBode. You have to think big, Alejandro. And maybe this is step one. This is maybe your short-term plan, but in the long run, you have a big opportunity, as LeBode said, to really own this space and really compete with the big dogs in that. And another thing I'm going to tell you is colleges.
Mhm.
Colleges who are looking to have virtual open houses just because of the pandemic would be a good opportunity for you. I would suggest reaching out to the local colleges and see about, as LeBeau said, just presenting them, a small demo of your platform, and then not having a salesy pitch, but to maybe create that relationship with them and say, hey, I love to give you an experience with your brand and our product, as a complimentary, as part of the selling, as just a complimentary usage. And I think that would go a long way, a really long way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, you have to go in knowing specifically how you're better than your competitors. You know, I saw that you had the diagram up that showed user experience, but you have to make sure you're not just um, talking to the customer, the user, right? You have to think about the company that you're talking to, right? The companies are going to your competitors. These big agencies are going to your competitors and they're wanting them to facilitate. So you have to talk to a business. How would this be? How are we better for your business than this other person, right? If you just say the user experience is better, you know, that's not enough. You know, you have to have your points. But then the next thing they're going to want to know is if you can handle what they're bringing. Because
Mhm.
if you really, if you're, it's kind of like the question, what happens when the dog catches the car? right? You imagine a dog running after a speeding car. What happens when he catches a car?
Mhm.
Are you ready to take on someone as big as Coke, someone as big as Pepsi, or multiple brands of the like wanting to use your platform? How ready are you for that right now? Because you have to be completely ready. So I wouldn't even approach them until I was completely ready. Because if they even say yes, and negotiations can last for like months and months. But if they say yes and it's a go, you don't get ready at that point. You have to
Yeah.
be ready right now. So that's one thing I always tell people is be ready in season and out of season, because you don't want to miss your moment trying to get ready. So we have
Mhm.
3 minutes left.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any questions for Alejandro before we let him go, or any suggestions?
Yeah, and LeBeau, I just want to add to what you were saying. Make sure your onboarding process is completely thorough, because when you receive word from that client, like a Coke or a Pepsi, and they say, "Okay, yes, we're interested," your onboarding, it has to be ready at the drop of a hat.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
honestly, we are at this moment a small team,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to the point to the demo, and it would be challenging, of course, to once we get, if we get like a huge client, it will be challenging. But I think we already know what we need, how to do it, how to make it possible. It all comes down to making a deal that works for us, that give us enough time and resources to come up with what they need in order
mm.
to uh, to offer them what they're looking for. But I think, yeah, is how everything works. You do your best, and then
Mm-hmm.
the storm comes, and you have to work like 3 times harder.
Yes, yes. Well, we think you have something great on your hands, and it's the wave of the future. So we believe you'll be successful. You guys just have to keep at it and start small, and then, you know, practice, get all of your stuff worked out. And that way, when you do have a big client like that, you won't fumble. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the timer. So thank you, Alejandro. Please stay on. Please stay on so that you can offer your ideas and suggestions and ask questions of our next speaker. So our next speaker is going to be Alejandro. Can you please make Vishal Boston the host? While he's getting together, do we have any community announcements? Any community announcements? If you do, go ahead and come off of mute and let us know what that is. All right, we don't have any community announcements, so we're going to go to Vishal. Vishal, introduce Wize Academy to us.
All right. Thank you so much, Lebo. And thanks, everyone. Great presentation, Alejandro. Pleasure to be here. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about what we do at Wise Computing Academy, what our focus is, and what our challenges and opportunities are, with the intention of getting valuable feedback from the entrepreneur community here in Fort Worth. So at Wise Computing Academy, we inspire young learners to be the leaders of tomorrow. That's what we are looking to do. And I want to start with challenges because that's primarily why we are here, right? The being a small-ish business, one of the key issues for us is just scaling the business, finding the right partners and the right franchise owners. We became a franchisor a couple of years ago, and we're looking to grow, scale up as a franchise. So that's sort of the scaling the business. As always, I think it's not uncommon for businesses to have that challenge. The second one is brand recognition. We have a decent brand recognition in the areas that we are in, but obviously we are competing with the larger companies with a limited marketing budget. So how do we sort of grow our brand in a meaningful way. The third one is just general awareness about the STEM field. And I'll get into what STEM is, and I'm sure most of you are aware of what that is. But just in case someone has not heard that acronym before, I am going to talk about that. So the future is ready. The question is, will our children be ready for it? Now, STEM or STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. The jobs in these fields grew at 3 times the rate of non-STEM jobs in the last decade. And by large estimate, about 2.4 million STEM jobs in the US go unfilled yearly. And on top of that, minority and women are deeply underrepresented in the STEM field. And all this is true while the jobs in the STEM field offering about anywhere from 50 to 90% higher salary of any other field. So, on one side, we have huge demand and at a very higher entry point. On the other side, we just don't have the supply to keep up with that. So my name is Vishal Basin. I am co-founder of Wize Computing Academy. I live here in Coppell and I'm father of three. Our goal at Wize Computing Academy is to educate and prepare children to reach their full potential and achieve great things, bigger than anything we've ever imagined. Our goal is to enable them to be creators and not just the users of technology. I'm certain that for most of you who have kids or who have nieces and nephews, they can probably tell you how to work your devices, your phones, your smartphones, your tablets, your laptops. So they are really great users of technology. Where they fall short is when you ask them to create something, you will see in 99% of cases, you'll see a blank face. So, we are raising a whole generation of great consumers, but where we are lacking is, how do we convert them to creators? And that's really the mission that we're after. So our approach is project-based and student-oriented approach to teaching computer programming, robotics, and designing to young learners at age 4 to 16. We do it in a hybrid model. Of course, with COVID, it's primarily online, but we also do at schools, at elementary, middle, and preschools, and also at different places like community centers and things like that. So we do enrichment and after school classes during the school year, and we do camps when the schools are closed. And we focus on coding, designing, and robotics. We actually include what Alejandro was talking about, augmented and virtual reality. That's actually one of the streams we also include in our in our teaching. We, from design standpoint, we have 3D modeling, 3D designing, 3D printing. We cover a lot on robotics, where we take our students for high-end competitions like the first Lego League, and our students perform extremely well. And we recently introduced a curriculum course on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So the point I'm trying to make here is we differentiate with others on the depth and the breadth of our curriculum and the approach we have towards teaching. We like to keep it fun because if we have a fun project-based environment, children are learning without actually realizing that they're learning. So the benefits to students, as you can imagine, when you're learning by doing, and when you're building stuff, you are learning important skills like problem solving, logical thinking, critical reasoning, patience, because sometimes it takes a long time for you to actually build something. And many times we actually have students work together as a team, right? As you when you grow up, you don't work in a vacuum. You work with other people as a team. you have to convince of other people of your ideas and actually, work with other people's ideas. So we want to inculcate those things from a very small age so that they are better prepared for the jobs of 21st century. We also hone in quite a bit on confidence, self-esteem, and presentation skills. Every end of the semester, we have what we call mini TED Talks, where every student and every team has to stand up and talk about the project that they've done and how they did it, why they did it, and what kind of coding concepts did they use to accomplish that. So those are
One,
the benefits.
1 minute, Bishop.
Thank you. Those are the benefits for students and for franchisees. As you can tell, since we are hybrid, our we have a recession-proof and pandemic-proof approach. Our costs are extremely low to begin with, and on an ongoing basis, since most of the education that we do are at locations or online, and we offer very large territories to all our franchisees. So market validation and growth, we started in 2015, and we are currently in about 55 different schools in about 11 locations in the US and Canada. And we are really looking to grow. We're looking to grow here in DFW, in Texas, and other states in the US and Canada, and English-speaking countries, provinces in Canada. And that's really where we see a lot of growth would come from a franchising perspective. And in addition to that, we're also looking to grow in the DFW, reach out to more schools to offer our programs online and on site. So, a recap, we've taught over 8,000 students at schools, preschools, and online. We cover all sorts of schools, whether they are public, private, or charter schools, or preschools. We have a whole gamut of schools that we partner with. Awesome testimonials that we have from parents. I'm not going to go through the specific, but I invite you to come visit our website. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. If you just search for Wize Academy, Wize with a Z, you should show our page. You can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you'd be able to see actual projects, actual classroom projects and presentations that the students do in our classes. So with that, I thank you for the opportunity to present very quickly about what we do and where we are going and the challenges we have. So I'm going to close with putting this slide up so that that's the challenges we have and that's the discussion we can have. And with that, I open it for Q&A. Thank you, Labo.
Thank you, Vishal. Everybody give Vishal a hand. Thank you so much for that awesome presentation. It sounds like you have a pretty successful academy you have there. So my question now is, what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you? And as he's answering that question, you all can put questions and suggestions in the chat box and Angela will read them. But what can we do for you, Vishal?
Right. So, suggestions. I'm sure you come across with entrepreneurs like us, where we have limited budget. We're competing with larger companies on brand. How do we enhance our brand recognition? How do we make sure more people know about who we are? We obviously want to keep increasing the number of schools, the number of students that we reach out to. We, like anybody else, were affected by pandemic. We moved 100% of our classes online. We went through an immense training program internally in April, where we basically trained every franchise owner that we have on how to conduct effective online classes, because all franchise owners were focused more on site, right? So we went from 90% on site to 100% online. I think we did that quite seamlessly, but from the community itself, parents did take some time to
Mhm.
students online. So, what we're really looking for is help with spreading the word. If you are in touch with local schools, please introduce us to them. If you know people who would like to be our franchise owners, please introduce us to them. If you have ideas on how we can scale and improve our brand recognition, I'm all ears. That's the reason I'm here.
Mm. So it looks like we have some questions, LeBeau. You want me to go ahead and,
Yes, go right ahead.
okay. Um, so from Alejandro, you can, in order to scale, the question is, where's the money? And he's saying it makes more sense to expand where the money is. And then he has a second part to the question. What programs have you done with high schools? So it looks like we have two questions. One is regarding, I guess, expansion, and that may be related to franchisees. I'm not sure if that's the direction you're going in, Alejandro. And then the second question is, what programs have you done with high schools?
Got it, got it. So the first question is about expansion, and I think Alejandro's specific comment was around, follow the money, right? So, from an expansion standpoint, we're looking at two things. One is we're looking to expand our franchise base within the US and Canada. And the second thing that we are doing is we are growing, we're putting a lot of energy on online, right? So the schools that we're reaching out to, whether it is B2B, which is schools, or whether it is direct to consumer, which is to parents and students, we are reaching out to people internationally. We've recently started our classes and opened it up to people internationally. So since we've done that, we've had students from Europe, from India, from Egypt, join our sessions because, when it's online, it's really a matter of, can you meet at the right time zone? Is the price point okay for you? So we are looking to grow both in online and looking to grow our franchise base. That's how we are scaling up. And the second part of the question was, are we doing anything with the high school?
Yeah.
We have done, so we are on our online classes. We are teaching high schoolers two things, three things actually. One is we are teaching them coding in Python. Other thing that we're doing is we're teaching them robotics, and we are actually preparing them to go to first tech challenge, which is the most or top rated robotics competition for high school, middle school, and elementary school in the world. It's from Lego education. So we teach them to do that, and we are also teaching them about artificial intelligence and machine learning. So those are the programs that we are currently doing with high school.
Mhm.
Primarily, our focus has been on elementary and middle, but we expanded to high school about a year ago, and these are the three specific programs we're doing with them, Alejandro.
Thank you. So Alejandro's follow-up question is, and which is a good point, many students need help with just STEM tutoring. How do you introduce them to more complex but not academic subjects such as robotics and programming? So I guess, is there some sort of intro opportunity you can have with these students just to introduce them? Because, to be totally honest with you, a lot of people are intimidated when you say coding and robotics and programming. I'm one of them. And so I guess this point in which I had in my notes as well, how do you offer maybe a free session that's like, a coding 101, or how do you break the barriers? And I think that's where your branding can be, you can have the ownership to that in terms of breaking down those barriers, and starting with elementary, high, and middle school students and high school students, but something that helps to break down the barriers to them understanding coding and the apprehensiveness when it comes to that. And so one other point from Alejandro is he would suggest to develop your own web app to manage the learning process and showcase the programs, the apps, and et cetera that the students have developed. Good idea.
Yep, certainly. Thank you for the suggestions and questions. So, sorry, I think I see a hand raised. So please go ahead before I respond.
So the chat was disabled for some reason. Apparently Alejandro is the only one that's able to put in comments. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna give mine
I don't know
verbally.
why that says that.
Yeah. So I worked for Girls Inc. for many, many years. And this is the kind of programming that was highly sought after and important because it allowed school-age girls, many of them, you know, of color, to have opportunities to learn more about STEM. So I would highly recommend reaching out to nonprofits that offer opportunities for kids to learn beyond the schools. You're going to probably run into a little bit of pushback from schools just because you have to write your curriculum to match theirs. But with an after school program or a nonprofit like Girls Inc., Girl Scouts, Junior Achievement, Boys and Girls Clubs, you could offer that programming and they can actually get grant funding to be able to provide that programming. So that would be how you would get paid in those situations. So definitely check into that if you haven't already.
Certainly, certainly. So I'm going to respond to Alejandro's and then I'm going to come back to yours as well. I think those are very good points. So and Angela, you were saying about free workshops and all this. If you go to our homepage, the very first thing you see is book a free trial session.
I did
So,
see that.
you know,
Wonderful.
so for that reason, and I completely get it. And we've been doing this, you know, ever since we started. We do free workshops for students across the world. We do, you know, we do workshops for many students. We've actually done workshops for teachers on getting them up to speed on artificial intelligence and machine learning and how you teach that to kindergarten from K to 12 students. We've done that as well. We do free trial sessions for one-on-one as well, where you know a student wants to just try us out. So we do workshops, free trial sessions. I think Alejandro and Angela, you were taking the same lines where people want to first try us out, right, and have no obligation to stay with us. So for that reason, we decrease the barrier to entry and we offer them free workshop for that reason. We also partner with certain schools. So we actually have our own students who are participating in competitions. We run our own competitions for the technical people here. We do hackathons every year. We do robotics competition of our own every year so that students can participate and work with each other. So yes, I hope that addresses Alejandro's question. I'm going to move to the second one on nonprofit. We actually do Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts STEM badges and robotics badges. We actually help them do those. We were working with the Girls and Boys Clubs for the last year's summer camp, not the last year, not the COVID year, but the year before that. It did not work out, but I think that's a good point. We should certainly re-engage with them to see what can we do online with them. The Girls Inc., we have not reached out to them. Sometimes what I've seen is it's just hard to make an inroad into these organizations. You know, from a curriculum standpoint, I think we are very solid, very robust, and very flexible. We have so much of depth that we can certainly tailor it because we've done that for the Daisy, the junior badges and journeys. So we can certainly do that. And if you have connections in Girls Inc., if you would be willing to get us, you know, introduced to them, I would really appreciate that.
Mhm.
I have a suggestion that I wanted to throw in there before we left. I've been looking around on your stuff online, and it looks like you've received press before about your program.
Yes,
Yeah,
limited, but yes, we like to receive more, but it's limited.
right. So it's time to make that happen. I think
Mhm.
you have everything that a publicist would need and a brand specialist would need to revamp your brand and to push you out to different news stations, to
Great.
different publications. And so it's time for you to get that started again. It is expensive, but if you can create a campaign, you know, maybe the first for the next few months to raise that money specifically for that, it would be the best investment that you made this year. Even if you were able to get funding, the first thing I would do is hire a publicist on retainer to start pushing this stuff out through the pipeline, because you only have so many times a year that the news would be interested.
Right.
So you need to jump on that as soon as possible. The second thing I would do is have a dedicated social media manager.
Yep.
Because even outside of just having building that brand and engaging and building up that followership and getting your presence more consistent on all channels, every channel, YouTube and everything, that is also a place where you can start packaging your deals and start making sales through social media. People are making money through social media. And you definitely, if you were to start a YouTube, if you don't already have one, but I mean, a consistent YouTube channel, the same way you see a channel on television. If you would start doing that, providing consistent content, very branded, very targeted, very niche, you can even start having revenue come through YouTube. And just so anybody knows, with YouTube, once they monetize you, people, you get money just from the commercials being on your videos, period. Whether people skip them or not, just for them to be able to have commercial. And I think that because your brand is family friendly, just a side note, the more family friendly your YouTube channel is the more YouTube wants to put commercials on your channel, because they can show all types of commercials on your channel. And it's not tailored to an adult audience. So you're in a really good position to start having multiple streams of income and getting the publicity you need. But I would definitely invest that in a publicist. Yeah. Angela,
Mhm.
did you have something?
Yeah, I want to add to that. Great comments, LeBeau. I certainly agree with you. Great advice. Now, I would tell you regarding the branding, I looked at your website and looked at your logo. And one of the things that I would advise, considering that there is a big push for more women in tech, I would consider modifying your logo, if you have the funds to do that, to maybe show a boy and a girl in tech, because right now your logo is just showing a boy. And I would think about modernizing your logo to make it more in with the times and just more inclusive. And then along with that, I would think about a tagline. And the tagline should be something that connects you, your business, your purpose, and your audience. So something that really gives you that competitive edge in your tagline. Because what is it about Wize Computing Academy that makes you guys so great? So is it the fact that, we believe that young people can take and own the future? So you need something catchy to integrate with that, with your logo. And when you create your own brand story, and this could be a mixture of why you created this brand, number one, and what you believe in and what you hope to accomplish. And when you have that publicist can take that story, package it up, and put a bow on it, and really get you the awareness and visibility that you need on a national and global scale. The fact that you have 55 schools that are part of your program, the fact that you have 11 locations, the fact that you are reaching kids in all over the world, in Egypt and Asia, all over the world, that's a huge story and an opportunity to really build your brand into something fascinating. And the other thing I would add is social media. Yes, critical. And LeBeau has a book that has 101 social media gems. That would be extremely helpful for you, but
Mhm.
invest in that. And I wouldn't say just depend on your website to promote your free online session. I think that that should be a key messaging within your social media and in your YouTube. You could do that, promote that every week so you can get more people to come in, more people to get exposed to your free session. And at the end of the day, you want to convert those people who attend your free session into students.
That is great advice, Angela. And Vishal, I hope you got what you needed and this was valuable for you. I will go into the chat right now and either type in an answer to Dennis's question. We're running out of time, but I didn't want to close. Vishal, can you make me host again? I
Yes.
didn't want to close without giving anyone an opportunity to make any community announcements if they had them.
Sure,
Does
sure.
anyone have any community announcements?
So I am a co-host. I think Alejandro, you would probably have that right to.
Oh, yeah, to make me a host. Go ahead and make me the host, Alejandro. Okay.
And while he's doing that, I'd like to make an announcement that I have a networking event coming up this coming Friday. Well, my name is Dennis Miller, for those of you who don't know. This Friday, we will be talking about how you can use humor to promote your business. Because when you're building a business, there's a lot of ups and downs. And just like if you watch these insurance commercials on how they use humor with gecko, different type of things. So because insurance can be sort of a down type industry because you have to lose something in order for it to be a benefit. So they put all those types of comedy type things with it. So on Friday, we'll have Mark Masters. He spoke here last week and he's looking for speaking opportunities all over. So drop by on Friday and network with us and see if you can find ways that you can use humor to build your business, or at least not to be too down when your business is down. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. That sounds like a great event. Anyone else have any community announcements? All right. Well, if that is all, I thank you guys once again for coming to 1 Million Cups. Join us next time, this same time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time next week. You guys have a safe and wonderful week, and we will see you guys next week. I said week 5 times.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank
Bye,
you. Have a good
everyone.
week.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.